Why does my wife think I'm a spy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I came home the other night in Montauk and got in bed, and I'm like, what are you chat GPTing? And I looked at it, and it says, how to tell if your husband is a spy. And she's like, I think you're a spy because you have 7 of these. I'm like, I'm not a spy. like, come on. I'm not a spy. She's like, that's what you would say.
Yeah, a spy isn't going to admit to being a spy. I will say that. So
Really? So you're on her side. Tom Ford glasses? I know.
Finally got glasses.
I know my Tom Ford.
Yeah, I finally got glasses. I love
I have
them.
a pair of Tom Fords. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
you
classic.
like them?
I love it. I love them.
What are you doing?
Are we starting yet?
Oh, we already started. We're
God.
We're in it.
It's a cold open.
It's cold
in this
open.
hot room.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's how we do.
hot.
Yeah, that's how we do. Erika, welcome. Who are you?
I'm Erika Sykes. Everyone calls me E for short. I am from Buffalo, New York.
Ooh, which part? City of Buffalo?
The city of Buffalo.
Is Buffalo the most racist place in America?
Funny enough, I think so.
Yeah.
I've heard that since I've been a kid growing up living in Buffalo. Personally, I haven't had any bad experiences really with racism, but I've also always been the token Black girl. So I always feel like I fit right in.
Big ice hockey player?
Regardless.
Did you go to the Sabres
games? Yes. Definitely went to Sabres games. I went to a Catholic all-girls school.
Which one?
Sacred Heart.
Uh-huh.
And so...
So you dating Canisius guys? What?
Oh my gosh, how do you know about Canisius?
I know about everything.
Actually, St. Joe's was our brother's school.
St. Joe's.
Yeah, so I did date some guys from St. Joe's.
St. Joe's, there's an I, and then preparatory.
Yes.
I don't know what the I is anymore.
Institute, maybe?
Institute, yeah, whatever it was. I remember St. Joe's very well.
Yeah.
The purple. They had a purple
Yes,
in
like a
their shirt.
maroonish. Yeah, like a purple color.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, no.
My
I have a
brothers
bunch of
went
friends.
there.
You ever been to the Steer?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I know my way around Buffalo.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
You're naming all little staple pieces.
There was
so
a
funny.
place in Williamsville that has the best chicken wings, and it was called
where?
Elmo's.
Elmo's? I never been to Elmo's.
You're probably too young.
Okay.
Probably too young.
Because normally people say Duff's or
That's because they don't know.
what was the other? There's a can't think of it right now.
All right, here's the big
yeah.
question. Ready? This
Okay.
is a clip for the guy there. Right? This is a social media clip.
Okay.
Why can the world not make a suitable chicken finger sub?
Why can the world not make a suitable chicken fingers?
They make it in Buffalo. They make that.
It's just something about. Well, first of all, you have to use Texas Red Hot. If it's not Texas Red Hot sauce, it doesn't taste the same. When you're talking about a buffalo wing.
But that sub, you know what I'm talking about? The sub.
Yes.
Why can't they do that? Everywhere you go, nobody can do the chicken finger sub.
I don't know. I love it in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Jim's Steakout.
Oh.
Shout out to Jim's Steakout. They make
Dude, Mighty Taco.
really good. Mighty
Best
Taco,
tacos in the world.
Best tacos ever. Whenever I go, it's so funny because whenever I go home, I just have a whole checklist of food places that I need to go to eat because it's just been so long. And it's even to the point where I get Ziploc bags. I pack me a little cooler. I take food home with me from pizza to wings, Loganberry. I don't know if you guys ever had a Loganberry, but it's it's a canned drink. It's a berry flavor, but it's only a Buffalo thing. So I stock up on Loganberry too. Buffalo has great food.
The best.
We have the best food. Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah.
Nice hole in the wall spots, mom and pop spots. It's been open forever.
The steak sandwich in Buffalo is maybe 100 times better than
Oh
the
my
Philly
God,
cheesesteak.
it's amazing.
I don't understand how it can't
I'm ready
transcend.
to
So you
adopt
got the
as a
chicken.
fellow
you got the-
Buffalonian because you
So
know
I
all
am.
our
I know all
secrets,
about
David.
Buffalo. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Want to know something is even worse? I quit drinking in Thanksgiving 2000. My first trip to Buffalo was March 2001.
Really?
So I never drank in Buffalo. How
No
can
way.
you not drink in Buffalo? Buffalo, they
Yeah,
drink.
we have a lot of nice on tap just beers and stuff too, locally the
back
Great
then.
Lakes.
Not back then. Back then we had Crown Royal.
Oh,
Crown
That's a
Royal.
little aggressive.
That was it.
Put some
Crown
hair on your
Royal.
chest.
Crown Royal. Like you drank a lot of Crown
And some
Royal.
marks on your record.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So no, one of my best friends from Buffalo, and like all of his friends became my friends because that's what happens when Buffalo.
Oh yeah, right? It's very family oriented. Like it's a super small town. Everybody knows everybody. Just from going up there, like it's like 1 degree separation. Not even. Yeah. Like you probably know my friend. I probably do.
We were just talking about him going to eat down here. So he lives down here. So I'll connect you guys
Really?
later.
Yeah, you should.
So I didn't know that about you before. So now you're Erika.
I'm
You're
Erika.
E from Buffalo. What do you do?
Buffalo.
You know, like what? Tell us about your business.
So
how do you make money?
I'm really like a jack of all trades. Like if you could take, I would say, a Jerry Maguire, an Olivia Pope, and maybe a Ari from Entourage and put them all like into one person, that might be me.
How do you do all that?
Does that make sense?
I think so. It's not
like,
hard.
I'm really good. I represent talent, mainly professional athletes, managing from their day-to-day to...
Why did you go after the professional athletes?
Why did I go? So I love sports since growing up. Like I said, from Buffalo, all my family diehard Bills fans, Sabres. We had the Buffalo Braves at one point, which was a basketball team that's no longer there. But
do you feel like you're born to lose?
No,
you think you'll ever win a championship?
I think we will. I actually think we've came really close recently.
Many times you've come recently. There's
with Josh Allen,
a field goal.
Yeah, I just think we need to. It's funny because I feel like we've been getting a lot of the right players lately, but for some reason we just can't seem to get over that Mahomes hump, which a lot of people can't really get over the Mahomes hump.
It's
but
really good.
I think Josh Allen is a fantastic quarterback. I just think that when it comes to big moments, it just seems like everything just goes left or never works in our favor. Almost like we're cursed.
You are cursed.
I feel like we're cursed.
The city of Buffalo is cursed. People born in Buffalo
and people are
cursed.
so diehard fans too.
That's
so
what I'm
it's
saying.
so annoying.
Like they're born to lose.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not gonna put that in the air. We're not born to lose.
I mean, I didn't make it up.
We just need to keep like praying to the football gods a little bit harder, I think.
Just a little bit harder.
Just a little bit harder.
They lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
I know, it's insane.
You can't even.
Like, you can't make that up. Yeah, that does sound crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
Even our playoffs, though, lately, it's like we get a little further each year, too, as of lately. And I don't know. Even the players get fed up, though, because that's why we have some good talent, and then they leave, and then it's like, damn, we're back to square one all over again.
And so that love of sports, like that authentic love of sports.
Grew up on it.
Just grew up on it, eat it.
Played sports in high school, even though all my friends joke all the time because everyone calls me Little E since I'm so short. And they don't realize how athletic and competitive I am. But I'm really good at a lot of shit. Like bowling, basketball.
What's your game?
I would say basketball is like my favorite.
So the short thing really comes into play there.
Yeah, it does. I was a guard, but I played great defense. I could shoot. I was pretty scrappy. But then once I stopped growing, I've probably been like 5'1¼ my whole life. And that's when I realized, yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere with basketball as an athlete. But maybe on the business side, I could find my lane and navigate things from there. And so that's how I fell in love with understanding like just the business of basketball. I always wanted to be a sports agent. Grew up on Jerry Maguire, my favorite movie. And just being able to see like, man, over the years, there hasn't been a dominant female agent in the sports space. More importantly, not a female that's like really killing it and recruiting and doing all like, you know, the hands-on nitty-gritty work. And not most female agents that we do have, which is very few of them, but it's more like a status quo, like agents like putting them in position just to say, hey, we have the first ever female agent, but they're not negotiating the contracts. They're co-repping. They're not really like in the trenches with it. They're kind of just like, hey, just signing off.
So how does an agent...
And that needs to change.
For sure. That's where
That's where I hope I come in.
That's where you built this. So like, how do you start to make money as an agent? Like when you're a young kid, you look at it, and you're like, oh, I want to be Jerry Maguire. Well, it doesn't work that way, right? Like it's hard.
It's hard, but like the key thing that Jerry speaks about is your relationships. And I've done a really good job building out my network and just connecting the dots in different rooms that I'm in. I'm always looking to see how I can add value or finding where areas of where people are like lacking in their business infrastructure, or just what I can come up with my creative mind. Like I can look at something and figure out different ways to brand and build something out, like just from looking at it. And when I realized that was a gift, because it's something I just do naturally, so I never really thought about it like as a process or as a system. And then once I started to shift from, like I said, it into a business model, I noticed how much there's a need for that. And a lot of people don't understand how to build their brand in an authentic way. And what does that look like when you're looking at brand alignment with partners, anything that's just going to add value, social capital to a person's name, their image, their likeness. And then NIL came out. And I'm like, wow, now we're tapping in at younger ages. And now we have to like start educating the youth a lot sooner, all the way from high school, on how to manage their money, how to set up a business account, how to like understand sport as a business and just not a game that you play for fun. And I think that's the biggest challenge when you're communicating sports business to athletes, because they just want to play the game. It's a game they grew up on. They just like going through the motions of it. But when it's time money. But they want money, but they don't want what comes with that. So what comes with that is how to be a pro. So it's like you can be an athlete, naturally talented, gifted, but how to be a pro is where people need a little bit more training to understand. I got to show up. I got to do some things that I don't like sometimes. I got to shake hands and kiss babies. I have to always be on, and it's hard, and it's a lifestyle. And it's something that you have to adopt early on to know how to move the right way, how to, in a sense, have people take to you so that you can enhance your brand and get ahead when it comes to business alignment. So there's a lot that just plays into it.
So let's back up again. So how do you
help
make money?
Okay.
Like I think people watch Jerry Maguire, they have thought processes, but like separate yourself from the talent. How does the business model actually work?
So the business model for me is first like recruiting. So I vet out different athletes. A lot of it has been word of mouth, but I'll recruit, I'll put together business plans for them, and then it starts off on a monthly retainer. So they'll retain my services, rather it's marketing, PR, media relations, philanthropy work. All those things are kind of like packaged in one. And
what's
monthly,
your favorite part of that?
My favorite part is philanthropy.
Really?
I love the impact investing side and just coming up and assessing like where the areas of interest are naturally, or challenges that players have been through, understanding their story and their journey, and then being able to say, hey, this identifies with you. This is an area that you naturally, should move in and be an advocate for, or, motivate or inspire, encourage others to care about this cause and help like change the narrative by just associating yourself, your time, your identity. It just opens up so many different doors for others to now want to be a part. And that's how you make change.
So you're charging a monthly retainer.
Yep.
On the holistic athlete.
Yes.
Or talent.
Talent, yep.
And so then you're bringing forward marketing deals, or you taking that business model. Is there upside from that retainer?
Oh, yeah. So outside of the retainer, any deals that I bring to the table, whether it's, it started off early on as like endorsement deals, right? Like, oh, okay, yeah, we can get you a Nike deal. We can get you, I don't know, body armor or something like that. And it's just going through, hey, you're a brand ambassador. You're getting paid to promote a brand. Now in 2024, so much has changed with just the marketing landscape, where it's more about how an athlete can actually have ownership in a brand, and how can this brand really be a part of their professional business ecosystem. So not only are they just speaking to be a representative, but now they have, ownership in this. And so it's just taking things to a whole different ball game where now you're setting up generational wealth, long-term. Athletes are going to be more embedded into the business because this is how they profit. And so when I can bring opportunities to them, I also am able to either get percentages off of that or come in as an equity play with them, because now I'm pretty much handling the business side of it as like an extension to the athlete themselves. Mm-hmm. So I would say bringing business opportunities to the table is another way to just monetize off of it from percentages of commission.
So you work retainer, you work commission, and then you might have equity component.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot more complex than what Jerry Maguire was doing, negotiating a contract, right?
Yes, a playing contract.
Like I'm going to do your player contract. I'm going to get you the best money, and that's it. And like that money sort of fizzled away a little bit, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I think most people don't realize what the state of that contract and the rates are now.
Yeah.
Market rates.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing too, even on the agent side, you're only allowed to get a certain percentage off of contracts from 2% to 4%. Like it varies. And depending on if you're just starting out as a newer agent, you're probably going to cut a lot of those fees just because you want the opportunity to work with the player. So you may not even make anything. I'm not going to say may not. You're not going to make anything like the first couple of years of that contract because you're hoping that they'll get the second contract, and that's when your money will finally start kicking in. But the whole time, it's just kind of building relationships, showing your value and understanding, okay, how can I represent the player at the highest degree? Where on my side, on the management, it's a little bit more diverse. You can get more creative. It's not so much red tape to be able to make money. And it's really just, hey, let me take this person and figure out all the different ways I can maximize this player, rather it be in the philanthropy side, rather it's a marketing deal, if it's ownership in a business, startup, or company. And then overall, like, what's their story and how do we communicate that to the masses to make them liked and people to want to support them and be fans or support them in their causes.
So now that we've done that, not so hard to talk, is it?
No, it's not. Actually, that was pretty easy. But you know what it is?
What?
I'm passionate about it. So it's easier for me to talk. Like I can go on and on about things that tick me off or stuff that I'm really passionate about.
What's making you mad?
Because it comes from the heart.
What's making you mad these days?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, this is up to you. It's up to you to be honest. I try to be.
I'd say what's ticking me off right now is the whole NIL stuff is ticking me off right now.
Why is it making you mad?
It's making me mad because I feel like it just opened up the floodgates for people to take advantage from players at a younger age.
I mean, the judge in the case yesterday agreed with you that the NCAA was trying to take advantage of them again.
And listen, in the NCAA, I do not think that they're the answer. Let me start there. I don't think we need them to govern things per se, but I do think there needs to be something else in place that a little deeper than just the collectives at some of these universities.
For sure. And as someone that builds some of those things or tries to build those things, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Right? But like, think about the NCAA. They have no moral authority.
None.
They're going to settle a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit and push it back on the members, all of the members, not the ones that actually made the money.
Mm-hmm. But I think this is a part of their plan all along.
Oh my God. But it has to be. And I'll tell you, here's the conspiracy theory I got. Anyone else goes bankrupt.
Yep.
You're facing a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit. Fold up shop. Sorry, we got no more money.
Yep.
Restart the Chinese restaurant with a different name. And you're back in business tomorrow. How many restaurants have closed down, opened up next day under a different name? Like,
all the time.
Because you can't pay that bill.
Yeah.
You're done. And like this bill is absolutely ludicrous, like in how they're trying to do it.
Oh, it's insane. They've been robbing us blind from the beginning though.
Yeah.
And I think they set up this NIL. It was a setup to create a wild, wild west. It's like, hey, you guys want to constantly complain about not being able to make money and we're making all this money off of you. So fine, go make money. But there's no rules. There's no regulations. It was just kind of like, hey, figure it out. Not, okay, now you can make money. So now I need a business account as an athlete.
I like
now I need an LLC. Like
I like no rules and no regulations. That's how I can make the most money. Don't put your fake rules on me. The fake rules are designed for people. The people that write the rules, they win in the rules. And like for me, I
agree.
I always push back on that wild, wild west bullshit, man. Like if you were a creator that wasn't a college athlete in 2001, before the rule went into effect, you could have done all these things. There's
That's true.
absolutely nothing.
When I say rules, though, I'm speaking more for like the protection of the athlete themselves. Because, for example, you put up these pressures now where everybody's just not a content creator and everyone just doesn't have personality. So now you're kind of creating on the team maybe a little riffraff where it's some players, it's like, hey, during the season, I just want to focus on the season. You're over here TikToking and doing this and that. We're losing games. Like, and then I feel like it becomes like an issue in the locker room amongst teammates or who's making more money and who's not making money.
Weren't they TikToking before? They just weren't able to get paid for it.
Yeah, they weren't getting paid. But also I think it wasn't such a, like content wasn't just pushed as heavily as it is now. Like I feel like it was more behind the scenes of content. Like,
so my guy Johnny Mack was like one of the first guys to go viral on YouTube. And he did trick shots. He was a trick shot quarterback. He didn't play much for the team, but he was able. Shots. And he wasn't able to be compensated.
Yeah.
And so he's got millions of views and he's like charismatic. So he could have been doing brand. Yeah. Like, and no. And, you know, and then you think about like a Shabazz Napier and his story.
Oh, yeah.
And Shabazz is like, Kevin Freeman will tell me, throw back another 20 years, 15 years, throw back. Kevin Freeman will tell you he had to rush from the end of school back home to work to be able to go play basketball.
I agree. You shouldn't do that. I agree.
Like Kevin Freeman was Big East. I want to say he was Big East tournament MVP in 1999. UConn Huskies NCAA national championship team.
Yeah, and
he had to rush out to go make money.
Because even in my college days, I went to Syracuse, and when I was in school,
this is like our team was
stacked. Oh, because I mean we're the best, and we're all over the media, by the way. But the basketball team was like stacked. And a lot of my guy friends, they joke now because they're like, hey, E, how come NIL wasn't around when we were in college? Because we would have been killing that. Like we would have made so much money and like over here getting shit for per diem, not even allowed to monetize off of anything. I remember one time we tried to start some t-shirts.
They get a legit
and
job.
We got in trouble.
They would get shut down for a legitimate job.
Yep. No, it was bad.
So in Alabama, what they would do with the football players is they go get a new suit and there would be
money already in. Yeah, I mean, you got to get clever. Like I said, I'm not against players making money. I just don't agree with them not being educated on how to maintain their money and actually how to set their stuff up as business, because a lot of kids are even getting taxed crazy because they just don't have the right processes in place when it comes to how to file, how to organize. Like, and a lot of the family members, this is new territory for them too. Like they also don't really understand how to build and structure a business. So,
but they're the managers.
And that's the thing. And so good point. So when I said things piss me off, that was more so I was getting at. It's like now it just opened up the floodgates for everybody to just be this expertise and market person. And, you know, I can manage an athlete. I could do this and have no idea what goes into it psychologically, professionally, even a level of expertise.
So I would agree with you. So now here's the piece. Why regulate the athlete? Regulate the representation.
Agree.
Right?
That's actually a great solution.
Like the NCAA, the NBA regulate. You can't. Yeah. I can't be an agent for an NBA player.
Right. You have to pass a test.
I got to pass the test, but then I got to get a client.
Yep.
Too, right?
And you got to pay a fee, and that fee is hefty too, clearly. So
right. So you got to be serious.
Yeah, you got to be serious, and that's what I think needs to happen. Honestly,
right now that makes sense to me.
That's actually a really good solution
because like the people that will be taking advantage of those athletes will be around them.
Yeah.
And I see it sometimes. I've talked to agents of players, and I'm like, I've never heard, like, not just never heard of you. I've never heard of you.
I've
or
never seen
anybody
your work.
you're representing or whatever. Who are you? That's his cousin. That's
his cousin. It's Uncle Baby. It's Momager.
In Atlanta, it's always an uncle. In Atlanta, it's always an uncle. Like, I don't know what it is
always
about
a
Atlanta.
random uncle or distant cousin from somewhere.
How often does that ruin families? Does it ever ruin families where you have somebody that's just trying to, they get around the money that's coming in, and it's like, oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you
I would
see
imagine.
It all the time. I mean, it actually ends up hurting the player more than anything when it's all said and done. Like, I've seen situations where people are running around trying to monetize off the player. The player doesn't even know this person is having conversations on their behalf to make money. And then you see messy situations start. And let's be honest, the sports industry is pretty small. Like, we all know each other, especially if you've been in it and actually doing the work, you know who's who. So the bad reputations can get out there a lot quickly. I shouldn't know the head of CAA basketball, right? Like, that's not something, like, why would an entrepreneurship professor know that? But to your point, it's so small. Once you meet one. And they'll let you know.
You meet all of them.
You're recruiting that person, good luck. His situation is real messy. It's 10 other people's hands in the pot over here. Or this person is moving around, making decisions, and don't even know what type of decisions they're making. And it's really hurting the player and his ability to even grow, or anybody else to want to do business with him, because it's just so much toxic, unorthodox business operating around that person.
Do you ever approach people at that moment?
I've
you're
tried.
privy to that? Yeah.
I've tried, because I've tried to save people sometimes. That's my Mother Teresa spirit that comes in.
And it goes how well?
Because I see it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor kid in his situation, like, you don't even know what's going on. Like, you are being completely exploited and taken advantage of, and you have no idea. And you think that these people are, like, for you? How do you not see what's going on here? And that's when I realized stuff that's really basic to my eye isn't common for everybody else. And it's hard to have those conversations too with players where it's like, look, not trying to be mean, but cousin Ray Ray over here is taking money from you. He's lying. He's telling people, hey, he can get this and this going for you, and not delivering and just taking the money on the back end. Now he got a hit on him where everybody's after Uncle Ray Ray because, the money isn't adding up, or what's being promised, overpromised and underdelivered is not there. And with the players, sometimes they really have to end up, like, separating completely, because business can get that messy where it's like, I can't even associate myself with this person publicly because of the stain that is put on me and my business.
Can you imagine that's like your parent? Like Lindsay Lohan style, right?
Oh my goodness. Britney Spears.
That's a whole nother story. I mean, but, like, can you imagine and then you're going out trying to win the championship.
Yeah. And you're dealing with all this chaos around you. And it happens more often than not.
So I personally believe when you get under the hood, things are always a little messy.
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure it out.
But instead, I think if we had programs that would train, like, hey, I'm all for keeping it in the family, right? But let's just make sure your family, whoever's going to step into this role or that role, they have the proper education and know what's going on and understand the business first.
Look, they need someone that loves them and will tell them the truth.
Yep. Can't be a yes person. And if things don't make sense, like, you have to shoot it to it straight. Like, you can't sugarcoat. And I think that's the other problem, right? Like, in the business, to get a client, you're selling services, you're selling yourself. So a lot of it is like, oh, I'm telling, what they want to hear. It's almost like you're, flirting with the person to get them to be so excited to come on with you. So you're sharing everything that you already know is of interest to them. And then once you got them, it's like all that stuff goes out the window. It's like, okay, well, I got you now. Like, joke's on you. And then all those things don't even, take an effect. And players, it's like they can know that something isn't good for them and they'll still stay in a situation just because they just don't care to have the mental capacity to deal with trying to solve the problem. So it's like, you know what? I know it's bad, but it's not that bad. So let me just keep going through. And it doesn't hit until money slows up or they're itching more towards retirement. And then it's like, hey, let me go back and look at this. This isn't really making sense. Or wow, this person hasn't provided XYZ for me. And I've been, in business since my rookie year with this person. And it's like, that's when things I feel like start to click. But at that point, it's almost a little too late. Because once that window closes and you're no longer like a hot commodity, it's just like, hey, it is what it is. You got to figure it out now.
So let's pivot to something a little happier now. You ready?
Happy.
All right, we're gonna get away from basketball because we don't want to scare any of your current clients with this one. But if you're looking across the sports, other than basketball, maybe let's take NFL and NBA out.
Okay.
Who would you be most excited to get in front of and be like, hey, let's do this?
Can you say that again?
Yeah, who would be the talent
Okay.
that you'd be most excited to sign, to try to sign, to be walking in the room, you're walking in the conference room, walking in the house, being like, hey, I got a plan for you? Who would be that person? Outside of the NBA and NFL.
Outside of NBA and NFL, who would that person be? Definitely has to be someone fun with a lot of personality.
You don't think about it. You're not like, oh man, like I feel like I could name those people. Like I've been thinking about them. I'm over here scheming.
I think she's chasing them, so she's like,
Yeah.
how public do I want to make this?
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what it is.
scheming.
I can see it.
Yeah, put it in the world.
I could see when she started trying to figure out a new person aside from the
Shoot
actual
your
person
shot
and
right
the
here.
facial expression.
Shoot your shot. This is your chance. Tell us what you
that's
do.
so
How do you
funny.
sell them? That's what
I'll
I'm
be
trying
honest.
to get to.
I
I want
would
to get to like details
I would
about
love-
how you would sell that person. So like that, because like I think that's really fascinating for someone that doesn't know your business, and it also shows why you're a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm trying to go for. So, I mean, what you got to lose?
I would say
You can give 2, 3, 4 people if you want.
Okay.
That way it'll make you feel a little better. But I'm gonna get you to the person.
okay. I would absolutely say for sure. I love Kevin Hart.
Really?
Yeah, I like how
Even after what the whole what was the my guy? Help me out.
what?
You're
On
talking
Club
scandal?
Shay. Yeah, when he ripped Kevin Hart. What was it? What's his name?
Cat
You're
Williams?
talking about Cat Williams.
Cat Williams. I love Cat Williams. So
Yeah.
like after
like
Cat
Cat
Williams,
Williams.
I was like, oh, I can't be fans of him. I can't be fans of him. I went
He
through the
laid
list.
it all out. He
And
definitely
did.
he
And
definitely got real.
I got to Steve Harvey and I was like, I'm still being a Steve Harvey fan.
We got to nitty gritty. But you want to know something? Like, also, when you're looking at these people, and I think it's the same for athletes, it's like who they are when it comes to business and who they are, like, in their personal lives. I feel like sometimes it's two different things.
I think you got a shot at Kevin Hart because you're tall.
Nobody in Hollywood works harder than Kevin Hart.
And that's what I like.
Wow.
So that's what I was going to get at. To me, it's more about how he handles his business, how he's transcended his business, how he's like navigated a lane that no one else has been able to figure out. Like things like that to me stand out when it comes to someone who's trying to be a game changer and just switch up the whole narrative of what's going on. And so that's why I want to work with him because I just love his innovation. I like
Kevin's
the
coming to
direction.
dinner tonight.
Really?
Yeah, how you
Okay.
how you do
Let's
that?
play some role
How
play.
you sell E?
How do I sell E? Oh, put me on the spot.
Yeah.
I'd probably try to crack a corny joke first, just because he's a comedian.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I'd probably crack a corny joke.
He's like he loves comedians. He's like
Yeah.
he's like
Really?
oh.
Mhm.
Okay, you put me on the spot here.
Nah, you're
I'm Kevin. What's up?
yeah.
Hey, Kev.
What's
Looking a little taller today.
oh. See, and I was thinking you'd have a shot because he would be taller than his
Oh, I was
agent.
looking a little taller
and then like you go
today.
after him for being short. Dude, he does a good job of owning the shortness.
Yeah, no, he
Unlike
does.
Tom
And he
Cruise.
jokes
Unlike Tom
about
Cruise.
it. Yeah. Oh,
Unlike Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I don't do a good job at it at all, but yeah, no, he does a good job, but he makes fun of it all the time. But I just think I
You
don't know
can't
how
change
it-
that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
why not own it?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying before. What are you so nervous about?
But
Just
he
own
has
it.
such a big heart, though. That's the thing. It's like
Oh, that's what you should
What
end
his
up with
heart-
that.
what
You
his
got
heart-
such a big heart,
what his
Kevin.
heart is, like, it's unmatched. Like, I don't care if he's the shortest person in every room. His heart is unmatched to anybody else. And
Did you
I think
see
his
the
ability to work is like top notch too.
Did you see the movie where he was like kind of like he had the girlfriend or wife and he was like kind of the loser and everything he tried was like bad? I get like, have you seen that movie? It's like I think he does all his movies on Netflix now or something.
Yeah.
And like it was on Netflix a couple of years ago. And I just couldn't buy like how much of an F up he was in that movie. Like he was just too much of a fuck up. And it was like,
I was gonna say there was probably a point in time where that was true though. Coming
Okay,
up in
get it right.
comedy, like coming into your own through stand-up comedy, that had to be true. And I know like who he came up with in stand-up, and that had to be true at that time.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And even like, so it's funny because his ex-wife, Tori Hart, she actually was with him, you know, during the time where he was building out his career, and a lot of what they did together with exploring the comedian space, writing their own jokes, like he's been building for a really long time, you know. And I think that's another thing when you see a lot of these people, you think, oh man, it's just an overnight success. You don't realize like, no, like this people, they've been putting in work 10, 15 years now before they even got that big break. And even from that break, you know, it's still trying to put in the work to get to where you need to go. So
how do you think it's different than being an entrepreneur? Because I mean, it's
the same thing. It's the same thing. I think the only difference is when you're an entrepreneur, going back to what I was saying, the public and private thing, you know, depending on what type of entrepreneur your business is, a lot of it can be behind the scenes where you're not putting everything of who you are out to the public. Where if you're a comedian or you're an entertainer, like that's your job to entertain. So
wouldn't you coach someone to keep something private?
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
I would say your personal life when it comes to your kids, your relationships.
So
I
always say like
private.
you can identify that thing that you want to keep.
Yeah.
Like as someone, like identify the thing that's yours because it could be different for every person, right?
That's true.
And so it's like, and like you see people, some people like LeBron and Bronny, right? Like he's pushing it. So I'm always like, well, what do you want to keep as yours? That's not for everybody
I feel like
else.
family. I feel like family. Like
that's your answer.
That's my
That
answer.
might be your answer,
For
right?
me, I feel like my family.
When you're
like, I would keep
famous,
that,
like it'd be like, oh, you don't. Need
I don't
to
want
buy.
anybody like discussing my kids. Don't discuss my husband. Like I feel like family is a touchy thing for me. It's something so sacred.
Yeah, because you're from Buffalo.
Yeah. And it's a family homegrown town. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it.
But there's a lot of things that scare me about like fame and famous, which is another reason why stepping into that, you know, and owning it, I feel like comes with a lot and you have to be ready for it mentally. And I think sometimes I overthink and get in my head and feel like, okay, yeah, I really want to do these great things, but damn, I don't want to really be in the public eye in doing these great things.
Do you not want to be judged?
Yeah, I think it just opens like your life up to so much scrutiny and for people to have an opinion. And I mean, people are going to have opinions regardless, but I think it's just a little bit different when it's so public and just so out there. And I think that is what scares me because it's like even when I look at my players and it's like you can't even go to get Starbucks without people sneaking and taking pictures or asking for an autograph or just being weird and creepy sometimes. Like, it's just no way around it.
Chris's gets a lot of people weird and creepy around him.
You do?
Yeah, he's just finding it.
It's scary, isn't it?
I'm not quite there yet, but I did get a text message from a fan of a client.
Show,
yeah.
See?
And I was like, how did you get my phone? I didn't ask because I didn't want to engage.
And see, it just gets spooky.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
weird.
know.
He kind of likes it right now, though.
Yeah,
he's like, this is cool.
I love creepy
well,
dudes
when you have
texting
a
me trying to
stalker
get
and some
dates with
creepy,
my
that means
clients.
that does mean you made it, right? Because
Yeah,
people really
Chris-
care
yeah,
about
they
you and what
care
you got
about
going
it, I
on.
So when I was at Texas Tech, I went away for the week. I would always go away for the weekend. I would fly to Alabama. I had a house in Alabama, and I was teaching. And my roommate, I lived with this dude. He was a good dude. He's like, "Hey, I saw your girlfriend this weekend. I didn't know you were in town." And I was like, "What?"
See, that's
I was
creepy.
like, "I have a girlfriend." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "She was here."
That's creepy.
I was like, "What?" And she slept in my bed. and it was not a girlfriend.
Whoa.
Who was this?
Wait till she hears about the David Noble show.
Yeah, and who like
That would be so great. No, it was creepy. And I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. And I found out a couple months later because like she tried to attack someone.
see, that's scary.
Because he's a spy.
It's a spy.
It is because you're a spy, though. I told you
My
this double
wife
life.
thinks I'm a
This
spy.
double life
It's not, I'm
here.
not a spy.
You know?
I don't-
Yeah, don't blow your cover
Don't
on a
blow
public
my cover.
platform.
Yeah.
4 people might hear this.
Yeah, no, but, like I bet 300. I bet 300. Yeah.
It's all because of E.
Yeah, well, it's E. We got
That's
E.
funny.
So Kevin Hart would be a dream client.
Yeah,
Like,
I think Kevin Hart
just
would
working
be,
with him, even like that would be just so much fun.
Yeah, only because, like I said, I've been in sports my whole life. So being able to work with a comedian and like the humor that comes with it, I just feel like comedians are so happy and fun to be around. Everything is always.
Have you ever met one in person? Then they're
Yeah, I
they're all
have.
like miserable and insecure.
They're depressed, yeah. Yeah, they're
Depressed,
depressed.
yeah, like oh sad. Kevin seems different, but yeah.
Kevin seems like he doesn't like give a damn
No.
at all.
No,
Like
I
he
feel
went
like
up
he
and
just
did that
lives
roast,
his best
kind
life.
of drunk as hell, and was
Excited,
having a great
just
time.
out. Yeah, like I feel like he just lives his best life. And if you're naturally funny, like you're just funny.
But couldn't
You
you
don't have to
take
try
that
to be
approach to
funny.
fame? Couldn't you just not care? Couldn't you just be like, fuck it. People are gonna take pictures of me. Like, you know, like
I
it's
have a term
always
for that. I don't know if I could say that. Can I curse?
Sure.
It's when you have your fuck you money.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you money is when you like don't give a shit.
I think Kevin's got the fuck.
Yeah,
yeah,
money.
he has the fuck you money.
Yeah.
So you can do that. Like Kanye, he has the fuck you money. Like I feel
Yeah.
like you can start going off
He
the
took
grid.
fuck you money to a different place.
Yeah, he went to-
Exactly.
That
And
shit to a
that's
different
probably
place.
2 good examples of what can be done this
Yeah.
way or that way.
Actually
But
true, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you have your fuck you money, that's when you can really not give a shit. Like a Jay-Z. Like you can do what you want, how you want.
But I feel like he
show
cares
up.
so much more now than he did before. And so, like, you know, it's an interesting. We'll ask Marcus about this because, like, I feel like he cares more now than he did before. Another guy that worked though, Jay-Z worked.
Jay-Z, I feel like, is
He
always trying to get more fuck you money. Like, there's not enough
there's not
fuck
enough in the
yous.
world.
He's
Yeah,
got
there's
fuck
not
you
enough
money,
fuck
but he
yous.
needs to say fuck you a lot more times.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
my thought
Yeah.
on why he's careful or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Part for him is his wife's sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's invested in a friend of mine's company and comes in and says, "Do you know my wife?"
That's so
That
funny.
was his question. Do
But you
who my
know
wife
what
is?"
though? I love
Yes, we know your wife.
I love how they balance that though, like publicly. Like when you are 2 public figures and you're making that type of money, like how you move, what you show. I think they do a good job with going back to what you keep private and what you show to the masses.
I mean, they made
So-
multiple albums about it also.
Yeah.
So they
That's true.
pick and choose.
Yeah, they can pick and choose how they want. But yeah, I love it though.
The E Show.
I can't wait till I fuck you money, actually.
The E Show. The E Show. Who do you get to sponsor the E Show?
Who do I get to sponsor the
Who would
show?
you love? Like, who would you love to represent as a brand?
Ooh. Who do I want to represent as a brand? These questions are pretty tough, guys.
Ah, this is easy. You can just like it would be fun. You
Because I
just-
like so many.
Yeah, but there's one. Just
Um,
pick one out of the hat. I like this one.
I would say Asics.
Really?
Asics.
So
I
sent,
have an
I sent,
obsession with Asics right now. They have me in a chokehold. I'm a sneakerhead.
So I
But
I
they're
just
so
sent the
comfy.
text to the intern to do the boast, and all she sent back was Asics for the win.
Really?
Nothing about my sweet canes.
Really? Asics is amazing.
Asics for the win.
I would want to actually. That would probably be a brand I want to work with because I feel like they haven't fully tapped in culturally to what's going on. Like we've seen the Nikes, the Pumas, Reebok is currently doing it now, like tapping in with women's sports. Now that Shaq and Allen Iverson, are a part of the whole marketing. And I think Asics is a very well-made sneaker. They're super, super comfortable. They have a lot of different styles that they're coming out now, cool colorways. But I think they need to do a little bit more to push to the masses. They did just do their first, I would say, athlete deal with Stephon Diggs. He has his own customized, a sneaker with Asics. And it's cute because it comes with like beads or you can put your own messaging on it. It's like smiley face.
I don't know anything about sneakers.
Really? Oh no, I'm a sneaker person. So yeah, I thought that was a cool collaboration because I was like, you know what? They need to start doing more things like that because it's such a well-made sneaker. And I think it could do a lot more on the marketing side and visibility if they did some more cross branding and collaboration. So I would love to work with ASICS to put like plan together for that.
And isn't it like Balenciaga or something that has like a lot of similarly inspired, to put it safely, like types of shoes? So they're already like they're taking that opportunity already.
Yep.
So why not? Yeah,
so why
you
not
own it already?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Why not? So I hope they start to put more together because even New Balance, like I love New Balance too, and they're doing a good job.
They're doing a great job of it.
Yeah, their athlete roster is crazy right now.
We were talking to the guy from tennis and baseball, and he has Otani, and he has Lindor on baseball. And one of the things he was saying is how excited Francisco is to be involved in it and do every single, like he's coming in, he's like, can we do this? Can we do that? And they're like, we haven't even tested this, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think
you like that excitement. That's what I said. It when you combine athletes and brands like that, it allows them to pull out their creative side. And some of them don't even know that they have a creative side until it's like sitting down at the table and it's designing, or it's how do you want to come up with a story to come up with a campaign to push this? Yeah. And then you start seeing all the different things that resonate with them and just tell a story in the most organic way. And that excites me because I'm like, not only do you get to hear the story, but now, like in Stephon Diggs' case, now you get to take home my sneaker. Like you get to sport my sneaker and understand the messaging behind it. And that right there is just giving you not only just a piece of who I am, but bringing you into my world.
I got one last question.
Yes.
Because this is like an hour now, you know.
Has it?
Yeah.
Flew, right?
I hope I'm not just like talking in circles. Because
That's been great.
No,
I said a prayer before I came in here, and I was like, Lord, please let my message.
Well, we're gonna test you out co-hosting.
I'd love that.
All right.
I love that.
Then we'll try, and we'll move
We
right.
might be a good tag team.
We'll move right into sports marketing and working with AI. How about that next?
I like that.
All right, let's do it. All right, thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Bye.